Hello, this is Mrs. Reister with lesson 3.4. We are going to multiply fractions with example 2 here. Taking a look at problem A, we have 2/3 times 5/4. So we have a couple strategies that we can go about using to multiply fractions. The first of which is where we can look at the fraction and cross reduce. So that's diagonally reducing. And the second option is to just multiply straight across and then reduce at the end. So for part A, or for question A, I am going to show you the method where we are going to cross reduce first. So I can look at my numerator 2 and my denominator 4, and my numerator 5 and my denominator 3. So when I look at 2 and 4, I know that I can take both of those numbers and divide them both by 2. So 2 divided by 2 becomes 1. 4 divided by 2 becomes 2. So I have reduced diagonally this way. Now when I look at 5 and 3, there isn't a common factor there, so there is no reducing that I can do. So now I am ready to multiply straight across. So my new numerator here is 1. So 1 times 5 is 5, and 3 times 2 is 6. So my simplified, or my final answer, and it is already simplified, is 5/6. Now in part B, we do have a mixed number here. So the first thing that I'm going to do with my mixed number is turn that into an improper fraction. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 is 33. So 33/8. And then I've got my 2/5 here. And this is a negative 2/5. So now I'm going to just multiply straight across and then reduce at the end. So 33 times 2 is 66, and 8 times 5 is 40, and we know that a positive times a negative is a negative. So now below here I'm going to reduce 66/40. Because these are both even numbers, the first thing I know I can divide by is 2. And I don't see anything else, so I am going to turn this into a mixed number. 20 goes into 33 one time, with 13 as my numerator. And again, my answer is negative because back in our original problem, we've got a positive times a negative, which results in a negative. So my final answer here is -1 and 13/20. Now in part C, I've got two mixed numbers. So just like in part B, I am going to turn these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So I've got a -5/2 times -31/4. And I cannot do any cross reducing here simply because there is no common factor between 2 and 31 and 5 and 4. So this is one of those situations where you will have to just multiply straight across. So I know that my denominator is 8, and then I'm going to multiply 31 times 5, which is 155, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So I've got 155/8, and that is what I need to reduce now. So I'm going to divide 155 by 8. So I've got 19 as my whole number. My denominator is 8, and my numerator is 3. So my answer, my final answer here is 19 and 3/8, and that is a positive 19 and 3/8. And then for part D here, I've got 8/3 times 9/8, negative 9/8, excuse me. So now with this one, I am noticing some places where I can cross reduce. The first of which is I've got an 8 as my numerator and an 8 as my denominator crossways. So I can take 8 divided by 8 to make that 1, and I can do the same thing with this 8. So I've reduced crossways here, and now I can also do the same with 3 and 9. The common factor here is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So now when I multiply straight across, I've got 1 times negative 3, which is negative 3, and 1 times 1. So negative 3 over 1 can be simplified to negative 3 as your final answer.